Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, Mr. and Lady, how are you all doing today? I would like to welcome you all to the very first edition of the weekly wrap-up. That is this little special segment on Kinetic Aesthetic, hosted by yours truly, Jerm, where I'm just going to be going over the things that have been happening, little interesting stories that have occurred during the last week. Today's first little episode, first little tryout of this, we're going to be covering anything that happened between March 14th all the way up until March 21st. So just enjoy this. Hopefully if this gets going, if this is well received, I'll just keep it going throughout the weeks, and hopefully you enjoy it. So let's get right on into it. Okay, first thing on the news agenda. As you all know, or you should know by now, I am a Chicago Bears fan, and recently they have been making a whole lot of terrible moves. Over the weekend, they decided to sign Andy Dalton. I don't know if y'all know him. He is the redheaded stepchild who was in Cincinnati for a long-ass time. Recently was with Dallas. And they decided to give this man $10 million. 13 if he actually is getting all of it with incentives and shit. And all I have to say is, wow. This is just one of those moments where I just get reminded it is so hard to be a fan of this team sometimes, because it feels like no matter what they do, no matter how many times we get the defense right, no matter how many times we get every other aspect of our team at least up to par, we can never find a consistent quarterback. We have been a franchise that has been around since the inception of the league, 1920s, and throughout the entire history, we've had two, if you want to be generous, decent quarterbacks who have been able to actually hold their weight. Jim McMahon and Sid Luckman. And one of those quarterbacks was only playing in the 1940s, so do with that what you will. But yeah, I really don't know what to make of this move. This just feels like a team that is giving up. They don't really care. They are just sort of phoning it in. And it's just really frustrating to watch, because this is a defense that has prime players. Eddie Jackson is still young. You just got rid of Kyle Fuller. I don't know why the hell they got rid of Kyle Fuller. You get rid of Akeem Hicks. I don't know why you're going to get rid of Akeem Hicks. Like, why are you wasting Roquan? Why would Roquan or any of them want to play for us? You got to explain that to me, because that just doesn't make any sense. So, yeah, I really don't know what the plan is. We were supposed to be putting in a big offer for Russell, and I guess we did, and we got rejected, but this ain't a good alternative. If you're Ryan Pace and you're Matt Nagy and you're already on a short lease, why would you consider this as a move that you can consider feasible, knowing that you have to entertain a fan base and you have to at least appease a fan base that's just tired of your shit? I don't know though. That's wild. So I guess they are just phoning it in this season, and shit, I guess we're looking towards 2022. That's all I got to say about that one. Desean Watson. As anybody who watches the NFL or even follows sports in general knows, Desean Watson has made it publicly clear that he does not want to be a part of the Houston Texans' future. He requested a trade at the end of last season and has pretty much spent the entire offseason doing whatever he can to just make it publicly known without pretty much coming out and publicly saying it directly. I want out of here. He's already met with the new coach that they hired, who was pretty much just an appeasement picks because they didn't pick his original choice, Eric Bieniemy, offensive coordinator of the Chiefs. Black coach who probably should have a job already. But the only reason he has pretty much talking to the the Texans, has been to let them know, I don't want to play for you anymore. And so I think it's really, really weird that this already complicated situation got a lot more complicated recently, when this attorney, who happened to be an old neighbor of the Texans owner, just so happened to suddenly find these women who want to accuse Desean Watson of sexual misconduct. Back in early March, I want to say it's only been about 2 or 3 weeks, but back about 2 weeks ago, the woman came out accusing him of sexual misconduct, pretty much saying that he was completely inappropriate with her while in the middle of a massage session that they had. And ever since then, it's just been sort of, at first it was just a little bubbling under the surface story, you don't really pay too much attention to the off-season stuff, you might not even hear about it, but it's just getting a lot more traction. It started out as one, The lawyer came out on Friday and pretty much said that he's already got 5 more. That was going to make it a total of 12 women that are accusing him of this. And he's even hinted that there are 10 more on top of that. So, I'm going to say this first off. It's important that you sort of try to you don't want to just come out and say this is bullshit off a rip. You want to try to believe women, just hear them out and not dismiss these types of stories. That is a lot of women. I'm sorry. I'm the type of person where there is smoke, there is fire. If you get accused of the same shit by over 10 people, you might not be exactly that person they're accusing you of, but you're not living right if you're even putting yourself in that situation that many times. So, yeah, I'm gonna just say that on that. I don't know. We don't have all the information yet. We're gonna let due process and everything play out, but that's my take on it so far. And I do want to say, with all that being said, it is interesting that the lawyer that is representing these women is an old friend of the Texans owner. With all the bad blood between Watson and the Texans right now, it's just a little convenient. That's all I'm going to say, convenient, that this lawyer happens to know the owner, just happens to have all these women that want to come out and accuse him of this, that just so happens to, let's be honest, we're looking at this from a business perspective, it's going to ruin his trade value. That gives all these teams, even though it's already being reported, none of these teams give a fuck, talent rules over everything in the NFL, so no one really cares, like Greg Hardy, but with all these teams coming out and ready to just say this, it just shows you it doesn't matter. It just shows you that the Texans are still the most inept organization I've ever seen in my entire life. And hopefully Desean Watson gets away from that. Hopefully, first off, he didn't do any of this shit that he's being accused of, because if he did, you sick, my nigga. Like, you just really on some other shit. But hopefully he is able to get away from there if this is all just smoke and mirrors, and go somewhere where he's not going to be conspired against by his owners and being accused of rape. So, yeah, hopefully that works out for you, Desean. And in our last little bit of interesting news for this week, Finland has been rated as the world's happiest country for the 4th year running. I don't know about you, I really did not know that. I was not going to expect Finland to be up there, but shout out to Finland because somehow they keep doing it. They are actually the only non-European country to even be in the top 10, so shout out to them for, being different, just doing their own thing. I don't know how they're keeping their people happy up there, but they're keeping them happy. And I will say it's a little fucked up. I'm just reading this right now as I record this. They actually have some of the highest suicide rates in the entire world, so maybe the reason they're keeping all their people happy is because all the unhappy people, they end up just dying. No? Okay, that's all I got for you all this week. Hopefully you had a good time listening, and even if you didn't, send it to someone that you don't like. Try to give them something that they won't enjoy to listen to. I think that'll definitely be the type of interaction you want to get with an enemy. But other than that, I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your day. Stay blessed, stay good, stay just trying to be good people. That's all we really can do in the world. You have a good one. Thanks again for listening. If you liked what you heard, go ahead and give me a follow on Twitter and Instagram at Jermster. On Twitter with 1_, on Instagram with 3. Also be sure to like and follow on whatever listening platform you're using to hear me out. And other than that, have a great and wonderful rest of your day.